In this video, I'm going to go over the entire costs that I've had to pay to own this F83 BMW M4 for the last year. Some of the costs are a bit insane, and I'll even go over how much it cost me every single mile to drive this car. But before we get into that, I'm going to go over a few of the things that make the costs worth it. Some things you would definitely expect, like tires, brakes, all of the consumables, oil changes, but other things have come up and cost thousands of dollars that really are a bit out of the ordinary and just kind of come with, owning a car like this. The initial purchase price, isn't out of this world. It's not a $200,000 sports car. So I think a lot of people get into these cars without fully understanding how much maintenance just could cost. I originally bought this car because it seemed to be the perfect daily driver. It was a good mix of comfortable, normal BMW things, a great sound system, good interior, comfy if you want to take it on road trips. But also, when you take it in the canyons or on a back road, it can really handle pretty well. This car also has one very important thing that you sort of need for a daily. If you look back here, it actually has some back seats. Now, they'll fit a very small child or the friend you don't like that much that you stick in the back. But from a daily driver perspective, it's really nice to be able to throw things back there. I've had a dog in the front and back of this car, so it's really not so big that you can't store anything. So it just has a little bit more practicality than something that's truly a two-seater and you don't have any back seats at all. I mean, just look at this driving perspective. You have a nice steering wheel, paddles, you still have, dials that look good. This car is a dual clutch, so it's great transmission. You have some carbon fiber on the front dash over here, as well as the center console. And the sound system, if you look here, is Harman Kardon. Not sure exactly how you say it, but it is very good. And because this is a convertible, if you put the top down and you have some music blasting in California, it doesn't get much better than that. A lot of people will say that the F83 convertible M4 doesn't look aggressive enough. You're missing the carbon fiber roof. It's a little bit more weight, and you don't have a little more of a ducktail on the end. But for California or any other warm climate areas, I think the convertible is a really good option. Still looks really great from the front and from the back as well. You have some nice wheels, pretty big brakes. So overall, it fits right in, can go in any crowd. It's not too boisterous, but at the same time, just looks a little bit special, and I think feels that way too. Okay, now that I've given the car some compliments, let's go over what it cost me. I've written down on a piece of paper every single cost over the last 12 months of ownership for the F83 M4. Let's get into it. First on the list has to do with this pretty good looking engine. I love the way the carbon fiber runs across on this brace, and I have an intake which makes this car sound really good. But first, we have the oil changes. Now, I've driven about 6,000 miles and I've had 2 oil changes. Each oil change costs around $200. So in total there, just on oil changes alone, around $400 total. Pretty much how the M4 works, when it rains, the rainwater goes in to this little seal right there, and there's some plastic containers right there that collect the water, and it's supposed to drip out nicely on the under side skirt. But what happens, because the side skirt actually blocks the water drain, a lot of water can accumulate and it'll just sit there. So when you're driving, sometimes you'll hear this sloshing around noise, and it's actually because there's a little bit of water in those tanks. So what I had to do, I had to go to a shop and have them drill a hole so that the car will properly drain, and that way when it rains, it won't fill with water. The total cost to get this fixed was around $200, but If it rains even more, there's a potential that I could have to go again and get the drains clean. The next major cost I've had for this car was the rear window regulator. When the rear window regulator broke, it cost about $1,200 to get a new one and have it installed. It actually broke while I was trying to put up the top, and the top couldn't be locked, so I had to bring it to a shop and leave it there for about maybe a week to get this part installed. I love the look of these wheels, but that leads me to the third maintenance cost that I've had, the wheel bearings. Both wheel bearings in the front started to make a lot of noise, so I had to get them replaced. Each side was around $1,100. These tires are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. They're extremely good tires, and as I've now felt, their handling is really incredible, but they do cost quite a bit. Now, for a full set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires in the proper sizes was around $1,800 total to get them mounted, balanced, aligned, and well, the car handles great, but it's quite a lot of money. The last major cost on this car has been insurance. Now, the insurance for this car, being that I'm 24 years old, is around $100 a month or $1,200 for the year. The last major cost for this car is the gas. There's no secret, this is not a very fuel efficient car. In fact, I get around 14 miles per gallon. Over the course of the last 6,000 miles, I've spent around $2,100 in gas alone. The total cost of ownership for the last 12 months of my F83 BMW M4 was right around $9,000. And if you look at it in the fact that I've only driven 6,000-ish miles, it cost me about $1.50 per mile just to drive this car. What do I think of that? I think it's a wonderful car. I think I would do it again. And if you're looking for an M4, definitely go for it. It's a great car. Stuff will come up, but in general, it's the perfect mix of daily comfortableness while also being powerful, turbo, and very fun to drive. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.